Something's brewing in Las Vegas, and it's not luck. It's day 7 of Raiders training camp, and what just happened today is enough to shake up the depth chart and maybe even the entire AFC West. I'm here to break down 6 major updates from the field that every Raiders fan needs to know because this camp, it's different, it's intense, and it's Raider Nation all the way. But before we dive into these fire updates, if you live and breathe silver and black, make sure to subscribe, like, and smash that bell icon so you never miss the latest inside news from Raiders HQ. This is your home for real, raw Raiders coverage. Camp highlight, #1 JT Woods making noise. Let's start with the name everyone's whispering at camp today, JT Woods. This guy's not just participating, he's punishing. Ever since the pads came on, Woods has turned into a physical force on the field. He's fast. We're talking 4.36 in the 40-yard dash, and with that long, rangy frame, he's showing the versatility coaches dream of. Safety, corner, doesn't matter. Today, he was running with the first-team defense, and if he keeps this up, the secondary could look very different this season. Camp highlight, #2 JPJ slides to right guard. Raiders get smart up front. The Raiders' offensive line just got a whole lot more interesting and smarter. Day 7 of training camp brought a big shakeup that could define the trenches this season. Jordan Meredith lined up at center once again, and while that may have raised some eyebrows, the real headline, Jackson Powers Johnson, the highly touted rookie, took reps at right guard. This move says a lot. It shows the coaching staff isn't fixated on rigid roles. They're focused on getting the best 5 linemen on the field. And if Meredith's going to hold down the center spot, JPJ absolutely has to be out there somewhere. And right guard may just be where he thrives. Last season, JPJ logged nearly 30 snaps at right guard, over 500 at left guard, and 400 plus at center. He's a true hybrid on the line, and no matter where you plug him in, he brings Pro Bowl level upside. Some voices around the facility are already saying it. He is all pro written all over him. And there's more. This isn't just about JPJ. Because if he's at right guard, that better mean Dylan Parham is holding down the left. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Reports out of camp suggest Parham has come back stronger, leaner, and more motivated, silencing off-season whispers that questioned his strength. Word is he's been grinding in the gym all summer, ready to prove Raider Nation wrong. This is what smart football looks like. The trenches win championships, and today, the Raiders looked like a team that knows it. Camp highlights 3 Dylan Parham bulks up. Raiders go bully ball. Forget finesse. This Raiders offense is shaping up to dominate with pure power. There's been some quiet concern over whether Dylan Parham could physically handle the rigors of playing inside the trenches. Last season, he hovered around 310 to 315 pounds, and at times, it showed, especially when he matched up against the league's bigger interior defenders. But that's yesterday's problem. Because this year, he's packed on muscle and now weighs in at a rock-solid 332 pounds. That's not a small jump, it's a message. The Raiders are gearing up to impose their will at the line of scrimmage. It's not just about tempo or spacing. With guys like Ashton Jenney drafted in the backfield and receivers who aren't afraid to block downfield, this team is preparing to run the football with attitude. This is classic Raiders football, tough, physical, and fearless. And Parham's transformation is right in line with that identity. Camp highlight #4 is Alex Kappa, already the odd man out. Now here's something that would have seemed unthinkable a year ago. Alex Kappa, the veteran guard with a solid resume, might not crack the starting 5. When Kappa was signed, some assumed his past connection with coaches would lock him in as a starter. But camp performance tells a different story. Kappa has battled injuries, and since suffering that setback a few seasons ago, he simply hasn't looked like the same player. Last year, his performance graded out as one of the worst among starting guards across the league. And what happened today? The Raiders' first-team offensive line lineup told us everything. LT, Colton Miller. LG, Dylan Parham. C, Jordan Meredith. RG, Jackson Powers Johnson. RT, DJ Glaze, second-year rookie. Kappa, nowhere to be seen with the starters. That says a lot. If this group continues to build chemistry and hold strong in preseason matchups, don't be surprised if Kappa ends up as veteran depth, not a key piece. Camp highlight, #5AB plus line with A plus potential. If we're being honest, this Raiders offensive line deserves a solid B plus grade right now, and that's not a knock. It's a compliment wrapped in promise. Because when you really look at this unit, you'll see something that Raider Nation hasn't had in years: upside. Sure, some fans and even respected analysts believe that Jackson Powers Johnson should be anchoring the line at center. And honestly, that argument makes sense. He's built for it. He sees the field well. He commands the line. But there's a difference between having a perfect plan and executing the best plan with the talent on hand. Right now, JPJ at right guard, Meredith at center, and no Alex Kappa in the starting five may not be what many expected, but it's working. And that's what matters. In the past, the Raiders stuck to rigid playbooks. This year, they're adapting. And that's the mark of a smart football team. They're not forcing square pegs into round holes. They're leaning into what's clicking in camp. And if that means Kappa takes a back seat while younger, hungrier guys earn their spots, that's a win for the Raiders. Let's not forget, teams don't win in July, but they build champions in camp. And what we're seeing right now in Henderson is a front office and coaching staff willing to pivot, adjust, and put the best 11 on the field, even if it means rewriting the depth chart. Camp highlight, #6 Ashton Jendi turns heads, Trey Tucker rising fast. Let's start with what's making the most noise in Raiders camp right now: Ashton Jendi. The rookie running back is turning into one of the most talked about players on the field. And it's not just fans who are noticing. Thayer Munford couldn't stop singing his praise during practice. Jendi runs with explosiveness, vision, and toughness. Every time he touches the ball, he looks like a future RB1. The Raiders' backfield might be deeper than anyone expected. Trey Tucker stepping up as WR2. Another major development: Trey Tucker is quietly locking up the WR2 role. While Jacobs remains the clear number one at receiver and Brock Bowers is the top tight end, Tucker is separating himself from the pack in a very competitive group. There's been a fierce battle going on between Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton Jr., Darian Porter, and Jack Beck, but Tucker's consistency, speed, and chemistry with the offense, especially with Geno Smith and Chip Kelly's scheme, are starting to pay off. This isn't just camp hype. Coaches are noticing. Players are noticing. And Tucker? He's responding with next-level performance. If he keeps this up, don't be surprised if he becomes one of the breakout stories of the season. Alex Bachmann making a push. And don't sleep on Alex Bachmann. He's been flying under the radar, but his camp performance is impossible to ignore. He's running sharp routes, catching everything thrown his way, and making a serious case to land on the 53-man roster. Early projections didn't have him locked in, but that could change fast. With every practice, he's making his presence felt. Camp highlight, #7 Alex Bachmann becoming the slot secret weapon. There was hope that Tommy Mellott might emerge as a reliable slot guy, but Alex Bachmann is making that role his own. From what insiders at camp are saying, Bachmann is playing with the kind of quick-footed precision that reminds people of a classic slot receiver. Some are even comparing his style to a Julian Edelman-type role, not in name recognition, but in how he finds soft spots in coverage and builds chemistry with quarterbacks. And that chemistry is real. Aiden O'Connell and Bachmann are clicking in drills. Bachmann's hands have been sure, his routes are clean, and most importantly, coaches are noticing. If he keeps this up, the Raiders may have found a true under-the-radar contributor for their offense. Camp highlight, #8 Ashton Jendi equal power. Period. It's official. Ashton Jendi doesn't just run the football, he runs through people. Ever since the pads came on, Jendi has looked like a walking highlight reel of brute force. He's compact, low to the ground, and incredibly hard to bring down with anything less than full contact. In today's practice, one play said it all. Jendi took a handoff, bounced off a would-be arm tackle from corner Cameron Richardson, and dragged him for an extra 4 yards. That's not just power. That's tone-setting football. And that's exactly what this Raiders offense is starting to become: physical, relentless, and not backing down an inch. Camp highlight, As 9 Darian Porter keeps climbing. While the receivers and backs get attention, rookie cornerback Darian Porter is quietly stacking great practices. Today, he snagged an interception and showed off his athleticism again in coverage against Dante Thornton Jr. These two have been locked in fierce battles throughout camp, each pushing the other to get better. Porter's length and instincts are standing out. While he's had some reps where he's beaten, he bounces back with big plays. That kind of resilience is exactly what the Raiders need in a competitive secondary. Camp highlight A#10 Jack Beck makes his presence known. Don't overlook second-round rookie wideout Jack Beck. Coming out of TCU, expectations were high, and today, he showed why. Smooth routes, strong hands, and the ability to separate in tight spaces all flashed in today's session. With the WR2 spot still open for competition, Beck is making a strong case to stay in the rotation. When you talk about raw talent, few names shine brighter this training camp than Michael Mayer. The Raiders' tight end had back-to-back touchdowns in one-on-one drills today, and it wasn't just luck. You can see the confidence building in every snap he takes. His routes are sharper. His timing? On point. And his chemistry with the quarterback is starting to look scary good. And while we're talking about elite performances, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the latest from Raiders camp. We're breaking it all down here, every single day. Now let's get back to it. Michael Mayer isn't alone. The tight end room in Vegas is stacked. You've got guys like Brock Bowers who bring serious mismatch potential. And based on today's drills, the Raiders are making it clear they plan to use their tight ends a lot. Whether it's Chip Kelly schemes or Geno's downfield accuracy, tight ends are going to be a massive part of this offense. And if Mayer can finally become that true T1 that the Raiders have been hunting for, someone who can dominate both in blocking and the passing game, this offense becomes 10 times more dangerous. On the flip side, not everyone had a great showing. Lonnie Johnson Jr. got exposed in coverage today, especially when matched up against these dominant tight ends. Geno was picking apart the secondary with ease, and the tight ends were eating. It's an area the Raiders clearly need to tighten up if they want to contend. Still, it's a good sign for Vegas when your biggest problem is deciding which playmaker to feature next. Because from what we're seeing in camp, the tight ends are ready to explode this season. Brock Bowers is a name every fantasy football fan needs to remember. No, he probably won't catch 111 passes again, but trust me, he's going to be a bigger part of the offense this season. The plays will be smarter, the opportunities will be better, and that means more yards. And more touchdowns. Speaking of touchdowns, he scored again today. Number 89 is a matchup nightmare. This team is doing everything possible to get the ball in his hands. They're lining him up in the slot, out wide like a wide receiver, and even using him as a traditional tight end with his hand in the dirt. He's a Swiss Army knife, and it's exciting to see. And let me just say this, I'm so glad Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator. He knows how to use tight ends, and he's proving it every week. Mismatches? That's his specialty. Now, on a less exciting note, I reached out to Tyree Wilson today. He didn't practice, and that's concerning. I've been hearing great things about his progress. With Christian Wilkins gone, fans are hoping Tyree can step up and become the dominant player we expected when he was drafted 7th overall. I messaged him, but honestly, since the Wilkins situation, I haven't heard much from players. Before I sign off, I've got to tell you about tonight's game. I'll be live with Jeremy Chuggs over on Chat Sports for the Hall of Fame game, Chargers vs. Lions. We're going live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We need Raider Nation to show up strong tonight. Let's show the world why we're the most loyal fan base in football. Plus, we all get to root against the Chargers. That's always a win. Amazing fact. In college, Brock Bowers became the first tight end in Georgia history to lead the team in receiving yards for 3 straight seasons, a feat no other Bulldog at his position has ever achieved.